Welcome to the Combative Nerds Podcast. Join us.
Hey guys, we don't have time for intros or traffic signals. This is a rapid fire episode. Let's get to it. Oh, and IEG. My bad. Sorry about your cat.
Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Raiderlance and
Icy Ad Gnome.
This is going to be part 6 of our rapid fire. Fandoms you don't understand or dislike. Well, fortunately, I'm good about talking on subjects I don't like. So let's see. Fans I don't like. Those people who watch Real Housewives of any shitty city they decided to film in. Fans of the Kardashians. I don't like you. You all look like ducks and it's unnatural. Please stop it. I'm raising a daughter. And, oh, wait a minute. Am I doing it wrong? We weren't talking.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you start us off then? Because I apologize for taking us on that tangent.
So I wanted to talk about fandoms that like you don't necessarily agree with, or you have a problem with, right? So we're talking about fandoms.
Like Real Housewives.
In general. So
and women who stay at home and eat bonbons. You're talking about those people, right?
That's something for sure.
What subject? Give me a subject so I can make a correlation.
Okay, so people who love Game of Thrones.
Oh, you mean nerd
people
fandom. Okay, my bad.
Right.
I apologize. Okay. Well, give me yours. I'm not sure if I have too many of these.
So Game of Thrones, I didn't really get into. And from the time that I was actually able to get into it, the seasons had already ended, right? Now there's like a whole new thing, like House of Dragons or some BS. But by the time it had ended, the show had pretty much gotten ruined for me on social media, right? Because that's what happens a lot now.
Yeah.
But everybody complained about how the show ended. So it's like, if you know something's going to end so poorly, why would you invest the time? Like, why would you willingly go into that being like, yeah, I'm going to fall in love with these characters or the storyline and just know how it ends already? It's kind of like watching the Titanic at that point. You know how it's going to end.
Yeah. Isn't that the problem with a lot of these movies, is that they're based on some source material, novels, comic books, and people already have preconception of how things should play out, and it becomes an issue of how close do we stay to the source material and the lore, and what freedoms can we take. I remember with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, they had to hire different scholars and the J.R. Tolkien Institute or something, whatever, or his family, to make sure they stayed pretty close, but then they had to take some liberties for the pacing because they were making movies. It seemed like a real complicated tightrope to walk.
Yeah. You want to stay as close to the source material as you can, right? You don't want to do a disservice to the fans, but at the same time, Marvel has done a really good job with this.
Absolutely.
Throughout their history of the MCU. Fox has not, but Marvel has done a really good job with trying to stay true to the comic books as much as possible, but taking some liberties to adapt it into a cinematic worth type movie, to incorporate all these other movies and other universes into their films. And I think they're taking it a step further in phases 5 and 6 with their new releases. But yeah, I mean, it's for my thought process was Game of Thrones stayed pretty close to the source material, but it wasn't because so many people had read it that it was a big issue. It was because so many people had watched it, and it was so exclusive for so long. You could only watch it if you had HBO or whatever.
Right.
It was so exclusive for so long that if you weren't watching it as the episodes came out, you weren't privy to it.
Yeah.
But then the seasons ended and everybody kind of ruined the end of the show for you. And so then at that point, it was why should I even watch it now? Because I know it's going to end really crappy,
The only thing that bothered me with the Game of Thrones, so I've never really watched it, I've seen different highlights, is how offended they get if you've never watched it. And it was not oh, you've never watched it, you should, you're really going to enjoy it. It's how dare you never watch this? What is wrong with you? I was I don't want to watch people doing all those things to each other. What if I wanted to watch that? I would watch one of these A&E prison documentaries, right? I don't want to see that crap. So that would be my only critique about Game of Thrones.
Or porn, because there's a lot of nudity.
Yeah, I've heard. Isn't that how Jason Momoa became super famous with one of his adult scenes in the show?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had to film for like 12 hours, him like
Jesus
humping the
Christ.
lead actress.
Well, yeah, God bless him and her. All right, what other fandoms?
Yeah. So I'm a fan of the Doctor Who series, but only a couple of the different actors who've played the Doctor Who.
Okay.
And there's a lot of crap about it because like there's a lot of different doctors out there, which kind of plays into the storyline. He gets reanimated, ever so often. He comes back to life as a different person. And most recently, he's come back to life as like a female doctor. But,
I've heard about that.
But yeah, so I like Matt Smith as Doctor Who. He's been in a lot of stuff from some of the Terminator movies and that kind of stuff, but he's been in a lot of different films as typically the bad guy. He's kind of a weird looking dude, not gonna lie.
Sure.
But he's one of my favorite doctors. He's hilarious, and the show's actually really, really good if you sit down and commit to it. So
again, another show I've never watched,
but it gets a lot of crap, and I'm actually a fan of some of the doctors, not all of them, but it gets a lot of crap. And there's a lot of shows and stuff and a lot of movies that I like that some people don't. And there's some stuff that I love, like Batman as Ben Affleck as Batman.
Boo.
You obviously clearly love, and I absolutely despise.
For nerddom, I can't really think of too many nerddoms I dislike. In an odd way, this is one of the few ways I try not to be judgmental. The only one I will say, and it's out of pure jealousy and spite, is the Pokemon fandom. And I am just perplexed and dumbfounded at the success. When one of those Charizard cards can be worth more than I can make in 2 lifetimes, it's pretty bothersome. But other than that, I don't mind them sitting down playing with each other. Pokemon version of Magic the Gathering, cool. If you want to collect cards, cool. If you want to walk around in a park looking like a moron, rolling a ball, cool. I don't mind any of that. It just really bothers me that level of success was garnered by that annoying of a cartoon. That's about it, though.
Oh, my God. You said that, and I had to instantly look it up.
What, the Charizard, how much it's worth?
Because I remember, when I was a kid, when I was in middle school, I had the original holographic Charizard.
Please tell me you still have it.
I don't.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's in the trash somewhere, right? It's dissolved.
You could have bought another house with that probably.
But I'm looking at some of the price of these things, and it's one of these things is worth $12,000.
Yeah. But my enamel pins
are
worth my enamel pins are worth $20, and my G1 Transformers are nothing because the stickers are falling off. Yeah, it pisses me off. It's not the universe that bothers me. It was my decision to not follow that universe and collect it. That bothers me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Why didn't I buy Netflix stock 20 years ago?
Exactly. That.
Yeah.
So that's about it. Do you have any others? I think I have one more.
Yeah. So I enjoy a lot of different fandoms. It's kind of my thing. Anything nerdy I like except for anime. I've never really gotten into anime because I don't like it as much. It's animation and anime are two completely different things. And I just, I think there's a lot of things that are lost in translation there. So I know that's
literally
a big
lost
thing.
In the language translation or in the art translation?
Both.
Okay.
So you lose some of the story and that kind of stuff or whatever. And I'm sure the anime has some great stories. I'm not knocking anime as a whole. I'm sure that there are some really great stories, and I'm sure somebody on here is going to be like, you need to watch Cowboy Bebop or whatever the hell. But
didn't like that one.
I'm sure there are some great ones, but it's just not something that interests me because the art style is so foreign to me, and it's not It's not the traditional animation that I grew up with.
That's why you don't like our logo.
Yeah, I hate it.
That's why you don't like the logo, because it's anime.
Dragon Ball Z, it should be Wolverine versus Hulk. I don't know what you're doing.
I figured it out. I was like, why doesn't he like it? It's really cool. It has a lot of aspects. It's the style of art. Okay, I love the style of art because it reminds me of like certain video games, like Final Fantasy and all that stuff. But I can understand there's certain styles of art I don't like. And you being an artist, it's funny, I would have thought that you would have appreciated all styles of art. But of course you have preferences like anybody would.
I mean, I can appreciate the fact that they look cool, but they can look cool in a picture as an actual animation or a movie or a TV show.
I see what you're saying.
Not the same.
I see what you're saying. Okay, well, if you really want to treat, then you should do the live-action anime stories that Japan's producing now on Netflix. Those are typically dumpster fires. I'll be the first one to say that. You will enjoy the anime more than the live-action films of Full Metal Alchemist and some of these other ones that they're making.
I did watch that one where it was like, oh God, I can't even remember it now. It was like the book that the kid found where you could Death Note. There you go.
Death Note, one of my favorites. Yeah. I like that one. I would have thought you would have liked Netflix's Castlevania.
Yeah, I never watched it. A bunch of people told me that I needed to watch it, but I never got around to it. But Death Note was good, and it was because it had William Dafoe as like the voice of the guy. But
did you watch the live action one?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's garbage. No, watch the original anime. No. I sat through like 2 episodes of that, and I said no, thank you. So I'll give you some recommendations, and I'll call in a favor and make you sit down and watch a couple of them.
That'll work.
Hopefully
I'm open-minded. I can sit down and watch something.
All right, for my last one, I'm going to have to go rogue again. I'm going to have to go off topic. I would say the fandom of Chip and Joanna Gaines. I do not like the fact that you get hardwood floor, say slap it on a wall, and rename it, and make a success of yourself. Screw you. I know it's hardwood floors on walls. And so I don't appreciate it.
It's shiplap. It's shiplap.
No, it's hardwood floors on walls.
No, it's shiplap. My wife will correct you.
Yeah. I guess at the end of the day, it's better than wallpaper. So I think we are wrapping this one up, and we are heading to the next rapid fire.
That's it. That's our show. Join IEG and myself for part 5 of our next rapid fire episode, where we will be discussing DC's The Flash and the controversy surrounding this movie's production. Please do us the favor and like, subscribe, share this podcast so we can get some traction. Once I get around to it, check us out on our socials. Out of Nerds on Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You know the deal. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you next episode.